Kevin Durant was first injured roughly 35 days ago. It was tabbed as a minor calf strain, and it was thought that he would come back once the finals started. Games 2 and 3 then pass, and there's still no word. Game 4 comes around, Kevin Durant is nowhere to be seen, and the Warriors are down 3-1. There was speculation that he wasn't fully committed to the team, as referenced by the confusion within the team as reported by insiders. But slowly but surely, KD is eventually listed as active to play in Game 5 in Scotiabank Arena, after much ping-ponging back and forth as to whether he was ready to play. The worst that could happen was an additional strain. In the pregame, KD is seen dancing and warming up. There's no physical ailments that we can see, and it seems that he's gonna be alright. The game starts, and coming into the second quarter, KD has 11 points and hasn't missed a shot from the field. He then gets the ball on the right wing, attempts a spin move on Serge Ibaka, and abruptly tears his Achilles tendon. I'm still a little bit ashamed of it, but I think it's necessary that I say this in order to completely flesh out my point. I'm okay if you dislike the video, but I only ask of you to hear my point before you do so. When Kevin Durant went down, my first instinct heavily mirrored that of the Raptors crowd.
And quickly,
the Toronto Raptors were going to finally win the championship, and the Warriors were going to lose. I didn't feel any sympathy at all for the Warriors or Kevin Durant. Now, the reasonings behind it were very likely similar to anyone else who had a reaction like mine. For one, it didn't look serious. He came down without any pain on his face, and he was able to somewhat walk all the way back to the locker room. 2, he was touted as not being 100% healthy, and therefore a re-injury was very, very possible. But 3, and perhaps the most important of all, is that he's Kevin Durant and he plays for the Golden State Warriors. Of all the teams and all the players in the NBA, these two are the least likely for people to have sympathy for, simply based on their history. In 2015, they became a juggernaut that could not be stopped, and many people didn't like them for that, me included. 2016 then comes around, Steph wins the unanimous MVP, and even more people hate him and the Warriors for having such unprecedented success. Then on July 4th, 2016, Kevin Durant joins the Warriors, and public outcry ensues from all around. People called him a cupcake, weak, soft, uncompetitive. They said that he was taking the easy road, that he was making a weak move, that he was doing all of these things that aren't conducive to an all-time great NBA player. This stigma really doesn't change for the next 2 years. In 2017, the Warriors won in 5 games, and the only memorable moment from that was Kevin Durant's Game 3 clincher. Then in 2018, the Warriors sweep the depleted Cavaliers, where the only memorable moment was the Game 1 blunder. Coming into 2019, the Warriors are again the favorites to win the title, and no one seems to be able to stop them. Until roughly mid-season, Kevin Durant and Draymond Green get into an argument. From there, we get rumors of Kevin Durant wanting to leave the Warriors after the season, preferably to the Knicks, all around, and there's more drama surrounding the team publicly than there ever has been before. Even so, coming into the playoffs, the Warriors are heavy favorites yet again. Their greatest competition looks to be in the West, in the Houston Rockets. And then after they dispose of them, the three-peat seems inevitable. They were going to win 3 years in a row and win 4 championships in 5 years. On the other hand, coming into the playoffs, the Raptors were never seriously considered to be finals contenders. They were heavily challenged by the 76ers, and if it weren't for Kawhi's game winner, it's pretty much a consensus that the Raptors would have lost. Then in the Eastern Conference Finals, they were down 0-2 to the Milwaukee Bucks, and it looked like their season was over. Then they went ahead and swept them after that, and that's when Drake and Kawhi's notoriety rose. Even so, the Warriors were heavy favorites going into the finals after the Portland Trail Blazers. With all of this information, how could you really feel bad for them? Losing here would give them an 80% championship rate in the last 6 years, a record that is only topped by the Bill Russell Celtics. Even if Kevin Durant got injured, he still has 2 finals MVPs. He still has the rest of his prime in order to win another title. He has so many options, and all of them are good, basketball-wise. However, even with all of this justification, there's a completely different side to the story, the human one. What KD has had to go through in the past 3 years has been perhaps even more difficult than what he would have to go through in Oklahoma. The backlash that he received was one of the worst in recent sports memory, and it continued all the way up to 9 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the second quarter of Game 5. All Kevin wants to do is play basketball at the highest level, and it's likely that he didn't even want to switch up teams to do so, but he did and accomplished some of basketball's greatest feats. Even among all the rumors regarding his commitment to the team, and knowing that there was a risk of re-injury, he decided to play regardless, and was the key factor in the Warriors' Game 5 win. Now, because of the risk that he took, he may be short on money, his career will have taken a hit, and he has to wait a year to play the game that he loves at the highest level. All KD wants to do is hoop, and that was taken away from him just because he wanted to help his brothers win. And his brothers felt that. Steph Curry, who was still in the game, technically followed KD back to the locker room.
Sometimes the spirit tells you what to do. You don't really make decisions, you just act on it.
Klay was undeniably angry at the Toronto crowd, and Bob Myers, not even a player or a coach, but the GM, was in tears.
If you have to, you can blame me.
Kevin was stolen from him a year of his career livelihood in a valiant effort to keep his team, his brothers, alive. And now a year is gone in his shortening career. How could you not feel bad for him and the Warriors? As you can see, there are two lenses that you can take this in. Either you look at Kevin Durant, the basketball player, and Golden State, the franchise, or you look at Kevin Durant, the person, and Golden State, the brotherhood. The obvious moral decision is to look at Kevin, the person, and Golden State, the family. As a human being, it's incredibly difficult to truly wish harm upon another. But to look at it from the quote-unquote business side of things, the lens that led Isaiah Thomas to the Cavaliers and then the veterans minimum that led Derrick Rose to Minnesota after playing his heart out for Chicago, and DeMar DeRozan's forced departure to San Antonio, the injury was a good thing for the Toronto Raptors. It makes sense for them to look at the business side of things first. Kevin Durant is injured. This is a good thing for our team. Let's cheer for that. It's morally wrong, without a doubt, but in business, whether it be the NBA or anywhere else, the human side takes a back seat to the business. Thanks for watching.